What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris bringing you the third and final game between Team Liquid and VP on the Radiant and Dire respectively. Game number 1 did go to Team Liquid with Korok showing everyone how to play Magnus. Game number 2 went to VP after they got the Wisp, because the Wisp somehow got through the pool, and well, I do know why, because VP decided to ban out the Magnus because Korok was absolutely monstrous on that hero. And then they ran a Wisp, CK, and then Brewmaster and Lone Druid, and there's the tankiness of all those heroes. Team Liquid, even though they had a very, I would say, strange strategy with laning a safe lane Sand King solo versus the Lone Druid, I mean, he did pretty well, but in the end, they just simply did not have enough damage. Once the magic immunity came up for VP, it was all over for Team Liquid. So we are now going to go into the final game where we see Team Liquid going to open up with that Batrider, VP going to respond with the Magnus and Lone Druid. The Lone Druid has been pretty good to VP thus far. I mean, just having that giant tanky hero on the front lines is always something that's incredibly useful, and well, VP have run it on KSI so far, so they might decide to switch it up and possibly run it on the the primary farmer Illidan. Although, they would more than likely want something a little bit more straightforward and damagey rather than mix between tanky and utility for him. Magnus and Lone Druid, of course, do have some pretty good synergy because the bear will get some heavy damage. That'll allow him to take down towers easier once the Empower does get up and really just be a very frightening siege machine. Team Liquid, their second pick is going to be the Nature's Prophet. So far, no real huge synergy between the heroes right now. They're just going to get a solid support lineup. Nature's Prophet most likely going to be played by Bulba. Rubik is going to be one of those support heroes who has some good things to steal, not so much for the Lone Druid, like last game when he accidentally stole the Lone Druid's bear. You do get the Demolish, which I guess is nice, but you don't get any synergy, which kind of sucks, because bear without synergy is pretty bad. That's why you max synergy after the bear. But the Rubik could steal an RP, and pretty much every time there's a Magnus and Rubik in the same game, RPs are stolen. It's really hard to make sure that doesn't happen, aside from the fact, the only way to really do that is to watch your positioning and make sure you catch the Rubik with that RP, because once you RP, the Rubik is going to instantly steal that spell. Even if you do try to just skewer your way out, just the fact that skewer takes a little bit of time to charge up will mean that the Rubik will have lots of time to steal your RP. And yeah, so Team Liquid is going to look for possibly a jungle hero, although they do have Nature's Prophet. They do need another support hero as well as their primary carry, which is why I would expect to see VP start to ban out the likes of the Life Stealer or something like that. And VP, they do have their Magnus for their solo mid lane. It's going to go up against possibly a Batrider. I mean, Team Liquid, the Batrider as well as Nature's Prophet, can run either of those on the hard lane. And then if things don't go well, they could just transition into the mid lane. So Team Liquid could even go for something like a Queen of Pain on top of this lineup if they so choose to do so. But I think that they would be okay with laning the Batrider mid versus the Magnus. Really, you would expect to win that lane as a Batrider, just having those constant stacks of oil. The Magnus won't be able to do all that much until he gets his bottle. And even then, he's got to be really careful. He does have Skewer as a defense mechanism, but if you get into a good position, then he could take the skewering. You'll skewer the Batrider with him, and then Firefly will still kill him off. So Team Liquid is going to ban out a couple more VP support heroes. VP also would kind of like to have a primary farmer as well, someone that Illidan could really just AFK farm for a good bulk of the game. Maybe an Alchemist? Yeah. Lone Druid, Alchemist, Magnus. So a couple of tanky heroes right there. Or they could go for a Phantom Lancer, which I would think would be banned. VP instead going to ban out the Weaver as well as the Anti-Mage. The Weaver as a primary safe lane carry, usually not the most effective. I mean, he does scale pretty well with items, but just the fact that there are other heroes that scale even better with items, usually you would try to pick someone else, like a Phantom Lancer or something like that, because Phantom Lancers, he's like OP as hell. At least that's what people say. Cancer Lancer, right? You have to get rid of that tumor through patching it. There we go. Phantom Lancer, Anti-Mage, Weaver, as well as the Life Stealer being banned out. Now this means that there is the Alchemist, which VP have run in the past. And Team Liquid, I don't think they've actually ever run that hero. I don't think I've seen them run it. this game probably won't be the best to run it either. They could go for something like a DK and try to get a little bit of pushing going, because VP, they do the shockwave for kind of anti-push, but really that's about
10
it.
seconds remaining.
The Bear and Shadow Demon, I guess, are kind of annoying, so maybe pushing isn't the best strategy for
5
Liquid.
seconds
Right now they
remaining.
do have a good amount of hold and control, a good amount of split push as well. Unfortunately, the Lancer isn't available for them to really capitalize on that split push to the fullest. They could go for something like a really hard carry, like a Faceless Void or something like that. But really, their options are fairly wide open. This pick for them is not only a pick for their own primary carry, but it's also a ban for VP's primary carry. It looks like they're going to wait. They're going to delay the choice. It's going to be a Lion, most likely going to be played by Fluff. Get a lot more burst damage onto the field, because VP are pretty tanky, and you need as much damage as you can get. Problem with Lion, though, is that he doesn't really contribute a whole lot to the lane early on. The stun is nice, but his damage is relatively low, and Rubik's damage is relatively low as well. So any tri-lane that Team Liquid runs is going to have to be defensive, and they'll be able to handle it if VP don't put an offensive tri-lane against them. And right now, VP's offensive tri-lane looks a lot scarier. Shadow Demon as well as the Lina, that's some pretty good setup right there. Get that instant disruption into an LSA once the hero pops out. It's going to be Lina versus Lion. We'll see whose nuke is used more effectively this game. Really, Team Liquid, if they're going to go for a tri-lane, it can't really be offensive. It's going to be really, really difficult, because just Lion and Rubik don't really have all that much damage.
10 seconds remaining.
The setup is good, so they're going to have to rely on the carry hero to do the damage. But the
5
real
seconds
carry hero that
remaining.
could do the damage, like Lifestealer and the Gyrocopter, those are early game damaging carry heroes. Those aren't in the pool. They go for... I don't even know. They do need that primary hard carry, or they could choose to go for a Storm Spirit. Just say, screw it, we're gonna go really hard in the early mid game. They're running out of time, and it's going to be a Luna. Okay, so some pretty good damage coming out of her, and Luna will be able to either aggressive tri-lane or defensive tri-lane. I do think that defensively playing Luna and getting her safer farm is a lot better than contesting the farm, just because she doesn't have the most range. Even though the Lucent Beams are nice, even though the Aura is nice, it's really going to be hard to contest versus the VP's tri-lane, who I expect them to cap it off with an Alchemist, because the Alchemist is always fun to watch.
10 seconds remaining.
And who doesn't love seeing an Alchemist? He's going to be nuked down pretty hard before he gets his chemical rage, and even then, the HP is really nice, but the regen won't really do much versus versus Team Liquid's burst. I'm sorry. But so far for Team Liquid, it's going to be a tri-lane: Rubik, Lion, Luna, Nature's Prophet, and Batrider each soloing another lane. Possibly Nature's Prophet abandoning the top lane, trying to get a little bit of the jungling action going. And Team Liquid's roaming squad with the Rubik and Lion is pretty decent. They do have a lot of lockdown. However, the damages for Team Liquid's really kind of lacking. They're going to have to rely on Bulba to transition on that Nature's Prophet into a more damaging role. Because Luna as well as Nature's Prophet, that'll be a solid damage base of which you could work off of. Batrider has some pretty good magical damage early on, but later on when they need some physical damage, it's going to have to come from the Luna and Nature's Prophet. That means they're going to have to get farm, and Ricky is actually going to be the pickup here. I mean, Ricky doesn't have any of those great targets to go against. Like, there's no Queen of Pain on the other side, there's no Anti-Mage on the other side, there's no Morphling on the other side. So the smoke screen isn't going to be entirely crippling. However, just the fact that Ricky does a lot of physical damage is really going to be a very, very effective tool for VP. Because if you look at Team Liquid's squad, there's no one on Team Liquid's side that I would call tanky. I mean, Batrider can get a little bit bulky. Luna, if she gets completely stacked, get pretty survivable. But if anyone gets popped with this Cloud, and they're pretty much done for. So VP, they can run an aggressive tri-lane and really try to contest TC's farm. Because VP's tri-lane is actually pretty darn good. Ricky, you would ordinarily say, would need levels, because level 6 on Ricky is just so damn important. But the setup from VP is sickening. It is disgusting how good it is. Disruption into an LSA is good enough, but then when you have the Cloud on top of that, that means the other person is moving slower, that means they can't cast anything. They're going to be, and they can't even fight back, they're going to be in a lot of pain. I mean, Liquid, their tri-lane doesn't really have that great of a defensive capabilities. They don't have the Shadow Demon on their side. They don't have any way to really mitigate damage aside from stuns, aside from delaying with the telekinesis. So if VP do choose to run this aggressive tri-lane, then it'll do very well for them. You can see already, smoking up, they're looking to be very aggressive early on. They're going to run into a Treant perhaps, But if Team Liquid run into that, then it's going to be lots of pain for them. VP, all they need is NS on the Shadow Demon to catch someone with that disruption. Let's go over who's playing what real quickly. Arzard is going to be supporting as the Lina. KSI, once again, on the Lone Druid. Crazy is on that Magnus. Illidan is going to be on that Ricky. And oh no, TC. TC, please. TC, please. Oh, he's dead. That's it. Although Fluff right behind him. Impale. The LSA. Ooh, LSA going to miss. TC is going to get away with his life. Ooh, a little bit of a missed opportunity from VP. I think it was partially due to the fact that Fluff came in with that Earth Spike, really just forced VP into a situation where they took a little bit more pressure in getting that kill than they ordinarily would expect. So Arzard kind of lost the timer in his head a little bit and missed the LSA. If they did get the LSA, the Earth Spike would not have helped the very soft hero that is Luna on that lane. On the Liquid side is going to be TC, hard carrying Luna, Fluff and stuff on that Lion. Secondary support, or I guess primary support, is Ix Mike playing that Rubik. Mid lane is going to be Korok's Batrider, and top lane is going to be Bulba, who is going to have to leave the lane. There's no way that Bulba can stick up here. As I said before, this tri-lane kind of nuke combination is going to kill him. It's just a fact. Even at level 1, they could kill off this nature property. He's going to send up wave after wave of trees. I guess he really wants these creeps to come down. Yeah, they're going to come down to his tower, so he's going to get a little bit of, well, oh, juking the LSA. Bulba with some plays. He's going to burn like 90 mana out of Arzard's pocket, but he's not really going to care. But Bulba's going to get a little bit of experience from this, but I don't really expect him to stay on this lane for too long, because he can't really contest Illidan's farm. He is making him last hit under the tower, which is a pain. And Bulba's getting a little bit of farm himself, but he really can't continue doing this. I think it'll be really safer for him to go into the jungle, and we can see the bear already taking some pretty heavy hits. Bear attempted to do the same, exactly what Bulba just pulled off. Didn't really work out for him, and now TC going to get a relatively easy farm. Ix Mike as well as Fluff will be able to push KSI back out of the lane most of the time, except for this awkward positioning when the creeps are double stacked up and there's 2 waves for some reason, and this is the only chance for KSI to really get experience, but now the pulls will start to happen. Fluff and stuff will be right on top of that. So TC is going to get absolute free farm on this bottom lane, and Illidan's going to get absolute free farm on the top lane. Although, where are the supports? They're actually trying to deal with the Treants. Arzard and NS kind of have their hands full. Really, that's something that Team Liquid don't have to deal with, because if the bear does come running at them, you're not going to try to kill the bear. That's not actually going to happen. In the mid lane, Korok 6 for 1 versus Crazy 4 for 1. We see Crazy already with that magic stick. Korok, though, already with the bottle. Actually went for 1 point in Flame Break at level 2. Very, very interesting decision. I wasn't watching this lane at all, so it might have been he was possibly going for an early kill attempt with the Flame Break, like somehow he got Crazy really low. But either way, I expect him to go into a regular build from here on out. However, he's going to have to deal with the fact that he doesn't have that Firefly to escape. Arzard and NS circling around. Just these 2 heroes together probably don't have enough damage to kill off this Batrider, even though Crazy may throw out a couple of shockwaves. Unless Korok goes really aggressive right now, that will be the death of him, because he still does not have the Firefly. He can't get out of this little valley over here. Fluff and Stuff is going to spot out the smoke, and he's going to cast out an instant Impale. No, it's not going to happen. There's the LSA, this time going to land on Fluff. They're looking for the Skewer. They will get it. Very short range, but a 2-man Impale. Fluff and Stuff's trying to get some distance, but it's not going to be enough. NS with the right clicks will kill off the Lion. Yes, it's a little bit better than having the Batrider die, but still, it is first blood going the way of NS. Very, very simple, easy gank. That was only with a level 1 Skewer as well. They can continue doing that as long as Liquid keep on getting caught out of position. Crazy taking a little bit of heat in this early game lane, but I mean, really, if he keeps getting kills like that, he's going to be fine to recover. He has a bottle already. He's going to start the bottle crowing cycle. Korok doesn't actually have to do that. He does have his magic wand, and no, just boots. Okay. Now Korok does have the Firefly. Going to be a little bit safer versus Crazy. Can even go for a couple of kills now. Tar by itself isn't really enough to go for a kill. Oh no, Cluckles. Don't stand there. Bad place. Illidan on the top lane has pushed down the tower pretty aggressively. This is going to mean that Bulba is going to get a couple levels, all 3 on him, but KSI, he's going to take the advice that I gave to Bulba. He's going to abandon ship, really, against just the stun lockdown, as well as the right-click damage from Lunar Blessing. He's really going to push him out of the lane. He knew that he couldn't get anything, so he's not going to contest TC's farm, which is going to mean that TC is going to be on the #1 spot for gold per minute, leading actually very heavily over Illidan, 18 CS versus 24. I expect that to balance out eventually, because Ricky does have a couple of very good ganking heroes, or ganking opportunities on heroes in this particular game. Korok completely zoning out crazy from this lane, using that tower to the best effect that he possibly can. He does have a regeneration rune as well, so he's not going to be worried about running out of mana or anything. I think it's actually going to time out soon. What he does have to worry about is NS and Arzart going for take 2 in this gank attempt. It's going to be a race to the invisibility rune. Fluff and Stuff will secure that for his team. And miss an impale at the same time. Korok is around. He's going to get skewered back. Where's the supports from VP? They're not actually here. Crazy in a little bit of trouble. Hex, only level 1 onto him, but it's going to be enough for Korok to close the distance. Here comes Arzart. LSA is going to fly. Not going to hit on anything. Another stun onto Crazy. 4 stacks of charge. Korok taking a lot of damage. He's going to get nuked down. A little bit of an over-aggressive play from Korok. I don't know where his regeneration rune went, but what I do know is that it didn't really work out for him. Now Fluff and Stuff and Ix Mike being stalked by NS. He doesn't have any support, so actually NS, the hunter, might become the hunted, but it's going to be an early 2-0 advantage for VP in this game. Getting these easy picks with the rotation from Arzart being ever present in these fights. And in the meantime, bot lane hasn't pushed out from TC, not going to go for the Tranquils, actually opting for power treads. NS is going to come in here, but he really can't go toe-to-toe with this Luna. He's going to take a couple of lucent beams to the face. However, his presence alone will push her back. This is going to be a 1-for-1 tower trade. Each safe lane hero claiming a tower. Did Illidan? Who got the towers? Actually, no, Bulba denied the tower. And what? How did Bulba I guess Bulba went to the bot lane. Sorry, when I was watching this gank, I guess Bulba was having his hands full with the bot lane. So Bulba gets all the tower kills in the game, even though some of them did not give him any gold. It's going to be another completely whiffed gank. I feel like it's always the third kill, right? It's always the third kill that I miss. God damn it. God damn it. Illidan is going to be pushed out very far, but he has his level 6, so he's going to feel very, very secure, despite the fact that he is pushed out very, very far and he's in a precarious place on the map. Luna's not going to have that same luxury of safety. However, she does have 2 heroes with her right now. I don't know what Korok is really planning on doing, teleporting to that bot lane. Ix Mike and TC possibly going to go for a kill onto the NS, but they do have to worry about this Riki. They don't have any Eclipse either, because there's so many creeps. TC, are you going to pop off this Eclipse? Observer Ward going to go down. That's not going to help him that much. Illidan still on the chase, does have maxed out, or is focusing that Blink Strike. He's going to abandon the chase, however. Looks like Korok is actually going to give some space to Fluff on this mid lane. He wants his Lion to get a couple more levels. Level 2 Lion, fairly useless. And that Shockwave taking out more than, or almost half of his HPs. Korok is going to be fine to just jungle up for a little bit, get a couple of his levels up. In the meantime, Fluff and Stuff is going to find a couple levels. He wants to get to the level 6 mark. He won't find enough time just because of how much pressure is being thrown at him. Ix Mike as well as Lion just going to dual lane the mid lane just for a little bit. I mean, Korok's not going to suffer from this all that much. He's going to be farming up in the jungle quite happily. Bulba's still farming up in the top lane quite happily as well. Not doing too bad, sitting right in the middle as far as the gold per minute chart is concerned. He is above KSI's Lone Druid. So he's not doing too bad. He does have the Ring of Basilius, 1,000 gold in his pocket as well. Haven't seen many teleport gangs, but really, Liquid, they have been pretty much defensive for this entire game. Except for, I suppose, this kind of skirmish for the bottom lane rune. Both teams are content to farm up. VP, they do have the option of going really, really aggressive. Riki, level 6 versus the Luna's level 6 as well. So both these heroes can put a lot of hurt onto the other. The Luna is, of course, reliant on the Eclipse, and if you could smoke screen that Eclipse out, it's going to be pretty huge. And wow, actually going to go for a Helm with a Dominator. Don't really see this too often from Lunas, especially when you in pro games. In pub games, when you don't have a really A+, S+ lineup of support heroes to really help you out, and you go for Helm with the Dominator, you dominate any creep, and then you start stacking up the Ancients, so that you could kill them off once you get a couple more points of Moonglaive. But Fluff and Stuff and Ix Mike, they're 2 people that really just have been known to stack up Ancients and really be relentless about that. But he is going to get that regardless, so he does have that option, I suppose. Gonna get that lifesteal as well. But he's really, lifesteal isn't really gonna help him. There's so much burst damage on VP and so much stun as well, silences and mischance. He's not gonna be able to do very effectively with that. Ix Mike is gonna spot out this incoming gank. Looks like Arzar's just gonna turn around and just D-ward. But TC is moving in. This is a perfect situation for the Luna. No creeps in this area. That means Eclipse is going to hit very, very hard on the VP side. Ix Mike just getting a little bit of intel, just staying on the high ground. Korok looking for his Blink Dagger still. Crazy. 500 gold, doesn't have his Blink Dagger anywhere near. At least Korok should get it first before Crazy. Korok's going to continue farming, and we're going to see a lot of dewarding action. Fortunately for VP, their wards are a lot more defensible, and Ix Mike going to run straight into the mag, going to pick him up. Did the skewer get used? No, it did not. It does have a verse polarity. Is he going to use it? He shouldn't need to use it. Ix Mike is stuck in a very awkward position. Laguna Blade being used. TC, where's the Eclipse? Already been used to kill, or at least bring down the Shadow Demon very, very low. Lasso onto Crazy, as well as an Impale that will kill him off. Bulba is going to get out of that disruption. I don't know where the Eclipse actually went, but it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Liquid taking their first kill of the game, killing off the Magnus in exchange for the Rubik. That is going to be worth it for them. They used the Eclipse, they used the Lasso, but they got the kill, and that might even get a tier 1 tower out of it as well. A Ring of Vasilius on TC is turned on, so this creep wave will be that much more durable. However, Bear will be pulling off the creep wave, so Liquid without any real way to summon. Actually, no, here comes the Treants. They do have Treants coming in, and they will be able to take down this tower. Korok actually opting for Arcane Boots instead. Really just trying to increase the longevity of their pushes. NS on the sidelines, looking for initiation. Doesn't have any points of Shadow Poison. Rather unorthodox build from the Shadow Demon. However, this tower still taking a lot of damage. Art as well as NS for the tower denied, and it will be denied. Teleportation coming in. It's going to be crazy. Instantly hexed up. He wants to skewer an inverse polarity. He's going to decide against it. This dewarding from VP, absolutely insane. Every single ward that Liquid has put down has been dewarded, with the exception of this incredibly defensive ward, which I don't think VP are even going to expect that ward is there, because, I mean, really, doesn't really give Liquid too much coverage that VP are really going to want to abuse. But 4-1 is the advantage. Let's take a look at how the graphs are showing. Not surprisingly, it is showing an advantage for VP. Experience kind of showing the same way. So even though Liquid might be getting a little bit of farm, VP with the towers, with the ganks, they're getting a little bit ahead of Team Liquid. However, Hand-of-Midas on the Lone Druid will kind of counterbalance the Hand-of-Midas on the KSI. Lone Druid split pushing still hasn't really come into play just yet. However, split pushing against a Riki, do you really want to risk that? Every time you go and teleport into a lane and try to get a couple of a little bit of pushing going, that's really dangerous. Now Illidan gonna want blood. He's gonna want to use the RP for this one. Bulb is gonna get smoked as well. Teleportation coming in. Shockwave, and Bulb is getting blocked by his own creeps, but a 2-man Impale from Fluff still does not have his level 6. There's the RP being used. Nature Prophet ultimate gonna bounce through. Illidan is going to take out the Bulba before he trades his own life. Crazy on the run. He's going to get headed off by Ix Mike. I don't think there's any escape path for this Magnus. Going to get thrown back into the creep wave. Flame Break going to push him further back into the trees. Shockwave going to fly. Lasso even being used. The creeps do take the last hit, so it is a 2-for-1 trade. VP trading 2 of their most valuable heroes for just a kill on the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet almost got out of there. If they had a little more damage to kill off that Riki, then Nature's Prophet would have survived. But really, that was all due to Fluff and Stuff's beautiful, beautiful Earth Spike. And now because of that, he did survive, and now he does have his ultimate now. Oh, TC getting ganked up just a little bit. The combination of Lina as well as Shadow Demon with level 3 on that curse, that's deadly. Bulba going to get Demonic Purge. LSA is going to hit on Bulba as well. The Bear is right here for the first hit Entangle, of course. Wouldn't have it any other way. Ix Mike's going to move in, but he doesn't have any support. I don't know what you're doing, Ix Mike. Korok is here, but he does not have that lasso. He's going to push them back. Ix Mike very lucky to walk out of there with his life. Lots of heroes on the VP side on the spot lane. All but the Riki are here. Rubik now wants to get a couple of levels. You know, the other support got his level 6. Now the Rubik wants his. If he could steal anything that Luna has, LSA is going to be pretty big for Ix Mike to steal. He's going to get another guaranteed, or semi-guaranteed stun. With a telekinesis, it should be guaranteed. Or if he can steal an RP, that'll be the holy grail for him to steal. Smokescreen is actually a pretty damn good spell to steal as well. Because Smokescreen is like, it's so good. First of all, it's a slow. I mean, that's great, but 70% miss chance, that's like Drunken Brawler, and then it's absolutely huge. And then you have a silence on top of that. Smokescreen is like, in my opinion, one of the best non-ultimate spells in the game. It's just absolutely insane. I love it. I love Smokescreen. I'm not afraid to admit it either. Smoke up from Team Liquid. They want to kill off Illidan. They do have an Sentry Ward. Illidan, is he going to stick around for this? Seems to smell something. TC and Korok on this mid lane, they shouldn't be farming together, so I guess he's going to say, screw that, I'm going to go up to the top lane. IX Mike is going to follow him, however. He does have a sentry ward, but Illidan is maintaining just a little bit of distance. With the movement speed from the smoke, they will catch up to him eventually. Oh, they're playing a very, very close positioning game. Illidan's going to reveal himself on this top lane. Oh, you do not want to be here, Ricky. You do not want to be here. So now they know if he's going to run north. There he is, and they see him. There's the instant sentry ward. There's the Sprout. Do they have another sentry ward? They they don't need it because he's still in range. Using the Finger of Death to kill off the Ricky. Very, very good gank from Team Liquid. Very patient gank from Liquid. It took them a lot of time to actually stalk that Ricky the entire time. But they did kill off the hard carry from VP. It's going to put TC at a one death advantage over that Ricky. And he's going to be farming the jungle. That is something that you can also do when you pick up the Helmet Dominator. Jungling is just so easy with that Luna. However, I think they might need the Eclipse right now because the push in the mid lane is a little bit dangerous. Wow, Arzark getting pushed all the way back to the low ground. But the tower's going to take a little bit of damage. The bear does have that... Oh, you're in from Crazy. Even using that reverse polarity only onto Korok. The Eclipse is going to burn down the bear as well as Lina. Already one down. Crazy trying to kill off Korok, but it's not going to be enough. Lucent Beam slowing down Korok's Magnus escape. And Shockwave stolen by IX Mike is going to kill off the Magnetar, diving that tier 1 tower. Bad decision, VP. They did not expect the Luna to be right there that quickly. I mean, Luna was as close as she could be, and even though Mag took over Lucent Beam beforehand, he still wanted to go for Korok. Using the reverse polarity on this guy, Batrider does have a very, very high int gain for an intelligence hero. Not int gain, I'm sorry, strength gain. You know, I wish they would tell you the stat gain per level. You just mouse over it. I mean, I feel like that's not unreasonable, right? Mouse over it and it's like, hey, you gain like 2 strength a level. So it'll be like, cool, I actually know that fact now. Instead of going into like the learn tab or whatever, where I could actually figure out how high Batrider's strength growth is. I mean, Batrider is a fairly tanky int hero, but I don't know exactly how tanky because there's no way to find out. If there is a way to find out, like without going into that learn menu, then please let me know because I would like to know. It'd be very useful for casters who are trying to like make points. Nothing worse than trying to make a point and then figuring out that your point is completely wrong because the math isn't there and there's no way for you to check it. Smoke up from Team Liquid. They want Illidan once again. Do they have the Finger of Death? Not for another 40 seconds. However, they do have the Lasso. Nature's Prophet does have his ultimate as well. Shockwave stolen by Rubik. That's a lot of burst damage. And using the smoke is perhaps... Oh, Blink Dagger as well. I love it from Fluff. Is perhaps the best way to go look for the Ricky. Because once your smoke dispels, you know he's nearby. There it is. And they don't see anyone around. There's the Blink forward for the Hex. Blink forward from Korok as well. Does he want to use his Lasso? Doesn't even need it. Rubik with the Shockwave. Killing off the Ricky the second time with that spell. The reason the smoke is such a good tool against Ricky is because once your smoke is dispelled, if you don't see anyone around you, you know that someone's invisible. Therefore, pop off the dust, blink forward, and Fluff and Stuff caught him with that instant hex. Now does have a Finger of Death. It's going to be, looks like a tier 1 for a tier 1 trade. VP will demolish this one. Actually using the fortification, Crazy does have his reverse polarity. IX Mike possibly looking for a deny. Top lane tower will be destroyed as well unless all of VP teleport right now. It looks like they're going to slide down to the bottom lane. Claim the last tier 1 tower that Liquid have. The tower in this top lane will be destroyed by the Batrider. They could keep going, however, it's really their bot lane that's going to be under a little bit of trouble. Nature's Prophet picking up a 17-minute Shadow Blade, Hand of Midas, not bad on him. Luna's going to go straight for a BKB. It's really, really necessary in this game, even though there is an entangle as well as reverse polarity, which means you won't be able to attack through that BKB as much as you would like. Just the fact that you will be smoked up and that miss chance is so crippling. If you pop up the BKB, you don't care. Another way to get through that is MKB, but that means you're going to be a glass cannon, and Luna is already pretty fragile, so looks like it's going to be a tier 1 trade for a tier 2. This tower's going to take a little bit of heat. Top tower taking a little bit of heat as well. Actually, Team Liquid don't have enough damage to kill off this tower, at least unless VP let them have it. Now it's going to be 2 teleportations coming in, forcing the Luna out of the lane. Take a look at how this bear is doing. If I click on him, he is at 4,000 gold. We're going to buy a Radiance straight up. The burn damage will be pretty good versus Liquid, as said before. Very, very soft team, which means the damage per second is going to be doing a lot more in proportion to their max total health. Could go for straight armlet or... Ooh, wait, he bought something? He bought a relic. Yes, he did. He's going to go for a Radiance. He's going to get it in 20 minutes. Not bad on a lone Druid who got completely owned in the early game. BKB will work for TC a little bit more because it'll block that Radiance burn damage. Of course, he had no way of knowing that was going to happen, but hey, sometimes things just work out for you. Both teams are going to continue farming. Illidan, what does he have? He does have his Diffusal Blade. He could look for some solo kills. However, Team Liquid, their supports have been kind of roaming around together. And Lion does have that Blink Dagger, so yeah, it's not going to be able to... if Ricky wants to gank the Lion, then he's going to have to hit him and then drop the smoke screen. Because if he just drops the smoke screen, it's going to be an instant blink away. But if he hits him and then drops the smoke screen, that means Fluff is going to have a small window of opportunity to cast that Hex. Hex, pretty much the only wait time you have for the casting of Hex and it actually coming out is your turn speed, your turn, what is it called? Turn rate. Because the spell comes out instantly, and you just got to turn around and actually cast it. Another smoke now. Korok, Ix, Mike, and Fluff. Not too much damage with these three heroes, although they do have Finger of Death. Oh, they're looking for Illidan once again. They know he's on this bottom lane. Bulba doesn't have any True Sight, however. Illidan is going to run out of there just fine, it looks like, using that smoke to kind of sweep four enemy heroes. Korok's going to blink forward, is going to reveal off R's Art. Is he going to bring him to his team? Yes, he is. There's the Impale, going to catch onto two, actually. R's Art stuck in the woods. He's going to... Wow, that's a little bit of overkill, Fluff, don't you think? He wants to prove the point that, hey, my nuke is better than yours, Lina. But Lina does have her nuke still. She'll be up in 26 seconds, and Fluff's ultimate isn't going to be up for about another year and a half. Regardless, that pick on the Luna is going to cut out a lot of VP's magical damage, really the bulk of VP's magical damage. And this tower is going to get demolished, although the bear, with that Radiance burn, can get trapped in the Sprout, but it's really going to thin out the creep wave. That's what they want. Crazy. Going to skewer forward for Bulba. Actually going to miss the skewer. Skewer stolen by Rubik, so he could push this Magnus away, although Telekinesis will serve that purpose. Bulba is now going to get burned down by the bear. Shockwave going to fly, and wow, skewer forward from Ix Mike. That looked ridiculous. There's the blink forward from Crazy. He's going to get impaled once again. Everyone from Fluff and Stuff, from Liquid is on the run. Fluff and Stuff dropping very, very low, but the Blink Daggers are now on cooldown. Korok is still on the run, going to pop out the Firefly, going to go into the trees, try to spread out VP's side, and he's going to make it out of there alive, and the bear getting trapped by the creeps. KSI probably should have stick the bear onto the softer targets, such as the Lion. But everyone from Liquid just sprinting it on out of there. Must go faster, must go faster, must go faster. And Ix Mike, that was the most ridiculous skewer animation I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a Rubik's skewer. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Rubik's skewer. But, hey, we just know that it looks completely ridiculous now. Roshan is going to be attempted by VP. Liquid, though, they're all going to move in. They're not too healthy. Fluff and Stuff, not too much HP. However, if he does drop his Impale on 2-3 heroes, that could be game-changing. There's a Flame Break, just scouting everyone out. Anyone to the high ground? Illidan up to the high ground, but not the correct high ground, not the high ground they really want. TC, gotta watch out. He does have his Eclipse, and RP still available for that mag. He's looking for the Blink RP. TC gets caught in it. He's going to be in a world of hurt. Korok does have a Blink Lasso, however, so if he gets the Magnus, then that could be equally as devastating. But it looks like just Liquid's presence in this Roshan area is going to mean that VP are going to fall back, at least get out of the Roshan pit. Korok playing so very aggressively. You gotta watch out. Rune, unfortunately for Liquid, spawning on the top lane. It's just going to be a couple illusions which could spot the high ground. Korok, you do not want to go up there. Going to blink forward for the lasso onto Crazy, hexing the Shadow Demon to make sure that spell goes off. Fluff and Stuff is going to trade his life. Eclipse is going to be popped. KSI eating the bulk of that. TC now going to pop up the BKB. Going to go to town. Ix Mike did steal the Reverse Polarity, only catching the bear, however. He's going to trade his life for that. Bulba on the run. He should be just fine. TC doesn't have that much damage, and VP can lose their Magnus in exchange for two support heroes. Illidan now finally arriving to this fight. Korok still laying down some tar, but very, very low on HP. And Fluff and Stuff, he gave his life to ensure that that lasso would work, because the Shadow Demon otherwise would have just, disrupted either Korok or the mag. And either way, it would have been very bad for Liquid. So, but trading that Lion, I don't know if that was actually worth it, because now Roshan is wide open. Bulba's going to come back to this fight, possibly make some treants and send them in. Really, TC is in no condition to fight right now, does not have the Eclipse, already used it to kill the mag, and everyone from VP fairly healthy. They didn't really burn all that much apart from the Lina ultimate, but the cooldown on that versus the Lion's ultimate is very, very low, so they're going to be okay with that. Lion's ultimate is up, really, really not close to that level 11 mark. He really needs that just because of a 1 minute reduction in cooldown. That is absurd. That is absurd reduction right there. Looking towards his bot lane, perhaps. Fluff and Stuff wants to use his Blink Dagger, which he got fairly quickly, by the way. Like, even if he got it right now, that would be pretty impressive for a support Lion. 325, 16 CS. I'm not sure how he actually managed to save enough for that Blink Dagger. It seems like he shouldn't have enough with 191 gold per minute. Maybe just letting IX Mike buy everything, which I guess is probably what happened. Yeah, Lina does have a mech, so they do have similar amounts of farm, and wow, Shadow Demon has a 4-staff as well. These supports are actually pretty farmed. Surprisingly farmed. TC and Bulba. You saw how much damage TC did in that last fight with his right clicks. Pretty much nothing. Once his Eclipse was down, that was it. TC wasn't really effective in that fight, even though he does have 4 points in Lunar Blessing. He's going to start building some aggressive items. BKB as well as Helm of the Dominator don't really give you that much damage. It's like, what, 44 damage? That's not much at all for the amount of money you spend. Both of these items, very much so defensive items. The Ashen to Mad style is definitely going to help him. However, he's going to have to worry about this incoming smoke gank from VP. Laguna Blade is up on Lina, and they want to use a TC. Oh, don't go down there. Don't go down there, TC. Oh, VP are going to sweep their way up, and looks like Liquid, they seem to know what's coming, so they're going to go north as well. They do have to worry about the Aegis now up on Ricky, who's going to head towards a BKB of his own, looks like. Ooh. Bulba making a snipe at the courier, going to take an RP for his efforts, drag down to the low ground. He's going to trade his life. Bulba trying to unleash his ultimate. Bulba trading his life for the courier. I think that they'll be okay with that, although giving more kills to Illidan, it's a little bit dangerous. They really they have to find some way to deal with this Ricky once he gets his BKB, and Liquid, the only thing that they have is a Blink Lasso. But can you really rely on that? He's invisible, so you have to like blink forward, dust, try to find your target, and then lasso him. As opposed to someone like KSI, who it's like, oh, look, I'm a giant big bear, you should lasso me. Everyone in Liquid do have their big ultimates up, however, so they could try to mount a defense here. Ready Fade Bolt flying through, going to weaken the push just from the get-go. Illidan going to get tossed up into the air. What has been stolen? Blink Strike stolen. Illidan going to take an Impale. Finger of Death as well. Is there enough damage to kill him off? No, there's not with the defensive disruption. LSA going to fly and miss. Illidan still, oh, he's going to get out, actually. Dragon Slave going to kill off that Rubik. And there's the lasso. Going to be cast onto Arzard, force-staffing him out of that fight. There's the Eclipse as well. Burning down the Shadow Demon, burning down the Lina. Skewer back from Crazy. Going to get hit very hard by the Nature Prophet ultimate, who's going to teleport in for that one last right click. KSI now trapped in a set of trees. Who are they going after? They're going for Illidan. They do see him. Fluff doesn't have any more mana, however, Illidan is on the run. They will have enough damage to kill him off regardless. And it's going to be 4 for 1, a trade for Liquid, which I really did not see coming. That lasso from Korok really just, again, isolating the Lina, making sure that she does not get that Laguna Blade off, doesn't get anything else out either. And Mag did not have that ultimate because he used it to kill off Korok earlier, so that earlier, not Korok, Bulba. So that earlier trade of Bulba's life for that courier turned out to be very much so worth it because that RP was not there. That will give Luna enough money for her ultimate orb. So she's going to head towards her Mantis style. We'll have it relatively shortly as well. And the 4-staff from the Bat Rider, the initiation's pretty good, and Illidan was, well, kind of got shut down from the get-go. He went very aggressive onto IX Mike, took some damage for his efforts, and that Finger of Death really dropping him to about half HP alone with one spell. You do have the mech on Lina, but you need a little bit more than that. The BKB is going to make sure that that won't happen in the future, but for the present, that's going to be the way the cookie crumbles. Liquid taking an extraordinary fight. Really, that's a fight that they desperately needed. Well, not too desperately, I guess. The game has been pretty even thus far. But in the end, it's going to be TC versus Illidan as the main carry heroes. Mantis style is definitely going to help. If you get smoked, then you just pop the Mantis style, and then Ricky is confused. He doesn't have any. He does have the AoE from the mag, I suppose, once he gets empowered. But just the fact that he doesn't know who to focus means that you can just run all your illusions out of that smoke screen, and then, well, you hopefully get out of there and cast your Eclipse or something like that. Oh, this is what I was talking about. This is actually TC using his own Hellbear to stack this up. Haven't noticed that. I noticed Fluff stacking the Ancients a couple times, but TC going to clear out these Ancients, going to give him a huge jump of gold. He's already on top of the gold per minute chart. Lone Druid actually not too far behind, and they seem to know that the Ancients are being farmed right now. Courier going to respawn. Everyone from VP going to move in. Empower on the bear. They got to contest this Ancient stack. TC going to scout that out, but the Ancients are already dying. They're already dead. Well, maybe not. RP only used on Korok. He's going to get skewered back into his team. He's going to take a lot of damage. 4-staff out is going to save him for the LSA, and already Bat Rider going to kill off the Magnus. TC can pop the BKB and just stand and fight. Doesn't have his Eclipse, but Illidan takes so much damage. He's going to die as well. KSI on the run. Arzard hexed up. KSI is going to be the target of focus. TC with the right-click damage should have enough to bring him down. In the meantime, Korok is going to be fighting 1v1 versus all the supports of VP, but it's going to be another 3-person trade. There's a teleport forward from Bulba, going to get instantly disrupted. Is there going to be an LSA Dragon Slave combo? Yes, there is, but still, they're on the run. TC is pissed, and he wants blood. Tar going to reel them both out. Who's it going to be? Possibly both. Bulba with the... no, he's not going to have enough. There's the Lucent Beam, going to slow down Arzard. LSA going to hit onto 2, but really Arzart has no way of escaping this. Bulba going to teleport his way out, and another 4-man wipe from Team Liquid. This time NS, the only one to survive that. Going for Korok once again. Not sure if Crazy is making the best RP plays here. Excuse me while I drink some agua.
I want to mine the top tower. Them dire buildings are tough.
Using fortification to delay this backdoor attempt from Liquid. They're going to get this once this drops. They should have enough damage at least. Very, very slow going. Bleeding forward from Korok. And the tower does drop. Man style plus the treants will have enough damage to bring that down. But really, this mag needs to hit more people with that RP. Focusing the Batrider and then not even killing him off. I mean, the LSA was a little bit delayed, and Korok was able to force staff himself out just when the LSA was about to hit. He came back with that lasso, really started screwing with VP, and Illidan on the front lines really can't afford to fight in these such tight quarters. If the entire fight happens in this small box right here, your Ricky is going to get hit by everything. You cannot afford that. He does not have any survivability. He doesn't have his BKB. Although, does he have his BKB? No, he does not have his BKB. If he has his BKB, then yeah, fight there all you want. Smokescreen is going to devastate Liquid. But when TC is going to be able to bounce his glaives to every single person on your team with that man style, Eclipse wasn't even used in that fight. And Liquid just take a fantastic fight right there. Going to put them further ahead, although VP, they still do have the tools, they do have the heroes to really mount a comeback. Against a Scythe of Vise, Shadow Blade, Nature's Prophet, it's going to be a little bit difficult though. If they put a gem onto Bulba, he could single-handedly kill off Illidan at this point. Actually, might need a little bit more help as far as damage is concerned, but TC, he's going to be going for evasion of his own, so Ricky's right clicks aren't going to be doing that much to TC, and really Ricky needs more farm right now. He hasn't really been living up to his name as the stealth assassin. The assassinations have been limited, if at all. Granted, VP did clear off this ancient stack earlier, so it's going to be a lot more gold from KSI, which ordinarily he would not get. He's going to head towards his AC, also denying a lot of gold towards TC. But was that really enough? It definitely wasn't worth that fight, for sure. 4-staff Blink online. He's really staying equal in terms of farm with Korok, despite the fact that Korok has a lot more gold per minute. Well, he has 2,700 gold. That would explain everything, actually. Smoke up, and they instantly see a ward, so I think they don't know if they're being revealed, but Bulba does know where at least two of them are. NS and KSI revealing themselves in his bot lane. Puff and stuff still with that Blink Dagger, using it to pretty good effect. Level 11, so the minute cooldown reduction is there. Ooh, do they have enough to kill off the Ricky? I think they do. I think they do, guys. I think they do. Impale to start out. No, Hex to start out. Oh my god! That was amazing. That was amazing. You gotta see that again. I'm sorry, guys. I really have to get. Okay, TC gonna say good luck, have fun. Let's actually slow this down. I can't move the camera. There we go. No, Illidan, no. Hex. Finger of Death. Nature's Prophet. Fade Bolt. And he's dead. That was amazing. Oh my god. Oh, that was awesome. So much burst damage. Ricky didn't stand a chance. Oh my god. Just a Hex into every single ultimate. Just beams of death, really. Just Wrath of Nature is a bouncing beam. Finger of Death is a straightforward beam. Fade Bolt is a straightforward beam. And then Ricky exploded. Gonna slow down his Black King bar just a little bit more. TC already does have that, and then some. They're going to start sieging up the top lane. They don't have the Shadow Demon, so they cannot disrupt TC and send his illusions up towards the high ground. However, Man Style does do something similar. And with the Treants, they should be able to take it, at least perhaps pressure out a buy. No, he doesn't even have buybacks, so no buybacks can happen. It's only 10 seconds regardless. So just Man Style Illusion's going to burn down the tower just a little bit, even doing a little bit of damage to the bear. But just having the bear sit on the front lines, tower took about 400 damage. It's going to be okay for VP. But now Fluff, his Finger of Death, you saw how hard it hit on Ricky. And he's nowhere close to his BKB. At least he's considering how well Liquid are shutting it down. Gem on the Batrider means that Sentry Wards won't even really be necessary. Although Korok did try to get... Oh, NS. He's going to see the Firefly. Is he going to actually chase this? Korok doesn't know he's being followed. NS can take a bath in the fire. Bring himself down to about a fifth of his HP. Korok gonna blink forward, lasso onto Illidan once again. This Ricky's getting nothing. Impale, Fade Bolt, they should have enough to kill him off, especially with that Hex. Lion killing off the Ricky again. And he was at 1,000 gold. He was so close to his BKB, and now 700 gold. He's getting further and further away. 7 deaths on this Ricky. I do like the pick from Ricky still. I think that what VP's idea was amazing. However, just the fact that Liquid are relentless in killing off this hero just means that the Ricky just can't work. Anyone who you relentlessly pursue that much, it won't work. I mean, if VP went for TC as aggressively as Liquid went for Illidan, then TC would have been, you know, in an equally crappy position. Oh, Korok looking for blood. Perhaps flame breaking one of them down to the low ground. Oh, there's the RP onto 4 now. Actually, that was only 3. Tama Wild is gonna get hexed up, but the bear just going toe to toe with TC, gonna burn his ultimate, and he's gonna survive at 60 HP. That Manta style OP Shadow Demon will pop him with that ultimate. And now there's so many illusions. Ars Art gonna take a finger death. Mech charge will keep him up. Korok still on the chase with 3 stacks of tar. In the meantime, top fight gonna be NS versus Bulba. This will go in favor of Bulba, and the ultimate will bounce through to Ars Art as well. This time it's everyone but Illidan who's going to get killed, and even though they did trade Luna for it, just the fact that Luna popped off that Manta style saved herself from a little bit more damage, living at 60 HP, life-stealing everything back, and she will now get the Aegis. Illidan, if he wants to go in on this, I suggest not. There's a Gem of True Sight on Korok, has been up for a couple minutes now. TC is going to grab the Aegis and is almost going to have enough, or 1,000 off, until he finishes his butterfly. VP not taking any fights at all, even though they had a 3-man RP, even though the bear with the cleave was going to work on all those heroes stuck in the RP. So the fact that they were focusing on Luna, and he popped the BKB, popped his Manta, popped his Eclipse, and then the Lone Druid couldn't figure out who to hit, and TC worked him down very, very nice and easily. With the butterfly coming up on him as well, it's going to be even easier for him to do that. The missed chance is something that the bear really can't afford to mitigate right now. He does have his AC finished, but he's nowhere near an MKB or anything like that. The Ricky as well, still no BKB, not going to have that for a while. And then at that point, he's going to have to get an MKB as well. It's something you don't want to get as Ricky just because you want to stack agility. He wants to get something like a Butterfly. He wants to get a Manta style, an Eye of Scotty, these types of things. And MKB will definitely help his damage output versus the Luna, but versus everyone else, you just want to pick them off one by one with your high burst damage from that backstab. It doubles your agility damage, pretty much. Now Fluff is getting all these utility items. Force Staff, Blink Dagger, Ghost Scepter. This Lion is pretty frightening. Alex Mike following up with just a Ghost Scepter, so I guess he's like Lion's little brother. A little bit late to the party, but still wants to be as cool. These items are coming up from Liquid, now even Nature's Prophet after the Scythe of Buy is going to go for a Demon Edge. Arzart is going to go for a BKB, it looks like. Just holding Ogre Clubs on everyone. I think at this point maybe a Heaven's Halberd. BKB is finally finished from Ricky, so it's going to be a 10-second charge as well. But can he pop that off before he gets hexed up? That's the big question. Because Hex on Lion, Hex on Nature's Prophet, Lasso on the Bat Rider, even if he does pop his BKB, it'll save him from a Finger of Death for sure, but it won't save you from TC's damage output, which at this point is incredibly high, and it's only going to get larger. Going to replace the Aegis with something else, going to get his Satanic. And look at these creeps burn. This tower is also going to slowly get shredded down by the Glaives. Fortification going to slow them down. Korok looking for blood. Who's it going to be? He's going to want to get Illidan. That's the optimum decision for him. Arzart going to reveal the fact that he's smoked up. The Blink Dagger is going to get cancelled by Korok. That Radiance on the front lines really making it tough for the Bat Rider to get initiation in. But the tower getting brought down very, very low, and Liquid, they didn't really use anything for it. They used the Manta style, 50 seconds cooldown. It's pretty high for an item. Although not really Refresher Orb high. Oh, Illidan is going to find TC. BKB to pop off immediately. Fluff and Stuff's going to blink into the smoke. RP onto IX Mike as well as Fluff and Stuff. However, Disruption onto Fluff will save him from the damage. TC standing his ground, does have the Aegis still. Going to pop off that ultimate. He's going to do pretty heavy damage, but mostly hitting the creeps. KSI now stuck in the trees. Bulba's trying to work the bear down, but the bear as well as Illidan going to kill him off first. And Ars Art NS as well as Crazy going to try to fight TC 1v3. TC does still have that Aegis. Firefly everywhere. Illidan is going to get burned down. Laguna Blade onto TC, but he's still surviving with that lifesteal. Now the Disruption will create illusions of TC, probably do more damage than all of the other heroes in VP combined, and TC and Korok, the only ones to survive this. The main damage dealer, Ricky, is down over. TC is going to abandon ship using that Aegis, and really that was the first fight that VP took that I would say was in their favor, even though the RP still only hit on one because the Disruption did save Fluff. The fact that the BKB was up on Ricky meant that he could just go to town on all of the other Liquid heroes. And I mean, like Nature's Prophet especially, because the Ghost Scepters are up on Ix Mike as well as Lion. But just that damage, and TC wasn't able to do enough damage because he kept on getting kited back and forth. He does have that Yasha within that Mantis. Oh, Hoodie-Cat. I hear a lasso, and S gonna get pushed back into the clutches of TC, forced after the low ground. Oh my god, from downtown. TC gotta worry about a bear though. There's a skewer back, gonna slow them both down. Korok on the run, TC gonna stand and fight. The bear doing some pretty heavy damage with that AC, but Crazy is gonna get bursted down. No, it's actually gonna miss. 2 stacks of tar. TC just needs another Lucent Beam that will kill him off. There you go. KSI now is going to be the targeted focus. Korok on the run. Here comes Fluff and Stuff, Finger of Death, as well as Impale Hex, and KSI is going to die to the Luna for a triple kill onto TC. 3,100 gold on him. Bulba's going to teleport right back into the fray with the damage, with Hand of Midas clearing out the creep wave, and they're going to go for a siege onto the tier 3 tower. Ricky Maru does have his BKB up, but really, that's all he has right now. Him and Arzart cannot hold this tower. If they do try, they will get killed very easily. Even if Ricky blinks in for TC, he'll just force out the BKB and then just turn around and start right-clicking him. Gem is now up. Gem is still up, actually, even though Ix Mike decides to sentry wards, and you can't get close to this. These neutral buildings, or these like useless buildings, are going to get shredded down. 2 Rax is down. They're going to shift right down to the bot lane. TC does have his Manta Style to put a little bit more damage. This building is even going to get shredded by the Moon Glaives, and this tower will drop. TC taking a good amount of damage from this tower, but he's not going to care all that much, even losing the aggro. Manta Style illusions plus the Treants might be enough to kill this off, but really, they don't have to kill this off. Illidan still wants blood, gonna go for Krog, pop his BKB as well. Laguna Blade will kill out the Bat Rider. There's an RP, catching Ix Mike as well as Bulba. Skewer though, missing. He went the complete wrong direction. TC can pop with the BKB as well as the Eclipse. He's gonna burn down as many people as he can, but the bear taking a lot of damage. Illidan going to take a lot of the bulk of damage. TC gonna go toe to toe with everyone. He's gonna take one before he dies, but Arzart, of all people, getting a triple kill out of that. Not sure how Lena managed to snag all those kills. Liquid losing 3 heroes, but in exchange for the Ricky, once again, slowing this hero down. Ricky is not a very valuable hero for VP at all. I mean, he is their greatest source of damage, and he did open up onto Korok, really allowing for Arzart to follow up with that Laguna Blade. But Liquid, that was a fight that they were kind of caught out of position for, and they did lose that fight. 3P do take a very much so needed good fight from them. Killing off TC, very, very important at this point. The gold advantage and experience advantage will continue to go the way of Liquid. Now, Bulba is starting to get a little bit of farm on his own. Impale, as well as Hex on the Spirit Bear that will kill him off. KSI should have a resummon, does not have a resummon. Oh no, this is not good. A minute when KSI is pretty much useless. All his farm, all the 40 minutes of farm that he's had this entire game, gone down the drain, and he has to fall back. He has no way to fight this. If he sticks around, he's just going to get... He doesn't put out any damage, he doesn't have any utility. He literally is just a big sack of meat. And there's 30 seconds before Luna is back up. Roshan going to be up in about 4 minutes. And Liquid looking very, very good to take this game. VP, what they have to do is try to get Ricky a couple more items with this top racks. With the top racks gone, that means it's going to be in a constant state of breach, and that means isolated farm, limited farm for the VP side. If they could pick off the Lion, if they could pick off the Bat Rider, these heroes are, wow, actually pretty damn tanky. Bat Rider, damn. Good strength growth. I don't know how much strength. Oh wait, points gained per hero. Oh, it does tell you. I wasn't reading. Whoa, what? I feel so stupid now. Holy crap. Points gained per hero, 2.4. It does tell you. Wow. How dumb do you have to be to make a huge point about showing this growth values and then where you're just not reading it? I know that someone is going to comment and just be like, hey, they do tell you if you just mouse over them. And then that they're going to make that comment before they actually finish the game, before they actually finish watching. So I got to put this in the description now, which means I have to remember that this game is the one where I completely messed up. And yeah, high strength growth on the Bat Rider, 2.4 versus the 2.5 int. 2.4 is actually pretty damn high. 1.7, 1.8. Let's look at some strength heroes. 2.75, yeah. He is bulky. He sure is. Lone Druid, what's his? 2.1. Bat Rider, you don't mess with him. He lifts. He does go to the gym. And Luna, ooh, so close from that level 25 mark. You need that extra 2 points in stats. That'll be the difference in the game. But Satanic up, buyback, not even available. So really, TC going to go all out for this one. Mid lane Raxes are open, and the Roshan is almost up. So I guess TC and his team are just going to bounce back and forth between this ancient camp as well as the mid lane. Make sure that all the lanes are being pushed, and they want to secure this Roshan for Luna. Going into that Roshan pit could... Oh, wait, no, double damage. This could be the game-changing... This could be the game-ending moment right here. Double damage Luna. They can't even take a regular damage Luna. How the hell are they going to take her with double? Build in. Hex onto the bear, but bear is getting messed up. Everyone gotta retreat from this. This is frightening. There's the blink lasso. They caught KSI, and he's gonna die. Double damage. You cannot fight. Oh, what crazy boy! Oh, that's game. RP completely wasted. Oh, now the Clave's gonna bounce through. KSI as well as NS dying from that one. And a double damage rune. Really just letting Liquid plow their way forward. Illidan gonna get hexed up. Finger of Death. Eclipse even being used. Do they have any True Sight? Yes, they do. They will kill off this Riki. And VP, with the Riki Maru pick, not really working out for them, but not because of the hero. I think it was mostly because of Liquid's playstyle, going after this Riki constantly. They were relentless. They wanted this Riki dead. They got him dead multiple times. In TC, he was farming the entire time when Riki was dying the entire time. So that's going to be it, guys. Liquid versus VP from the Premier League Season 4 is going to go in favor of Team Liquid, taking it 2-1 in some pretty high action games. I'm going to be continuing to cast this tournament. And yeah, if you enjoyed this cast, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you didn't, let me know why. And yes, I know, strength growth. I will never ever forget that. GG.